Hi everyone, welcome back to LAB on this super sunny June day. Hope you all had a great weekend indoors. What I want to talk to you about this week is the Lawtech panel which I spoke on a couple of weeks ago at the Gherkin. Hopefully a few of you will have caught up with what happened on Instagram because it was really fun. It was with the London Young Lawyers group. Thanks to those of you who turned up. I did actually meet a few of you in person, which was quite cool. And for those of you who didn't, I am just going to do a quick overview of what was discussed. Clearly I can't go into the whole thing because we'd be here for an hour and nobody has time for that. So briefly, the panel was about the future of Lawtech and how it's going to impact junior lawyers of the future. On the panel was Owen Oliver, who founded Workshare Transact, which is kind of like a software platform for managing transactions, closing deals, etc. We also had Luke Aaron, who is a business development manager for Kale Discovery, which is an e-discovery platform. And we had James Henderson, who is an associate at Hunton Andrews Kurth, and he specialises in data protection and privacy law. So a host of formidable experts in Lawtech. And me. They say if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Well, I was definitely not the smartest person in that room, but I felt a whole lot smarter when I left. So I'm hoping to impart some of this knowledge onto you so you feel equally awesome at Lawtech by the end of this video. Okay, so I made a few notes, so apologies if I refer to them. But the first thing we discussed was we kind of introduced the concept of Lawtech. What's the background to Lawtech? How's it come about? Why is there such a buzz around it at the moment? I actually answered that question, and I'm not going to cover it here because I basically summarised what I said in Tales of the Tech Revolution Part 1 and 2, which should be appearing up here. So if you haven't watched those already, please go and watch those and then come on back. We then talked about different types of Lawtech. Obviously, we talked about the two which the panellists were familiar with, which were the ones that I just mentioned, and I then suggested a couple of other types of Lawtech because the ones that the panellists are involved in are what I would call practice tools, so kind of types of Lawtech and software that lawyers tend to use on a daily basis to do their jobs. The ones that I also raised were Flex, F-Lex. So I did a collaboration video with the CEO of Flex, Mary Bonser, just before Christmas because this is an online platform which matches paralegals who are in need of short-term work experience with firms who need those paralegals. I'll link the details below if you're interested in that. Also, I talked about LawBid, which is an online platform where clients basically put their problem online and then other lawyers bid for it, and then the clients decide which lawyer they want to go with. So those are two kind of slightly broader examples of Lawtech, just to illustrate how many different options there are within Lawtech, and it's not just a narrow field, it's any technology related to the legal profession. We then talked about some obstacles to the implementation of Lawtech and what the potential barriers are with implementation. So one of those things is that lawyers are inherently risk averse. Technology is new, we don't understand it, and we don't know how to regulate it or control it. It is therefore pretty high on the riskometer of law, where even borrowing someone else's pen is a risk. Some other obstacles are cost. Obviously technology isn't cheap, but it's not just the cost of technology itself, it's also the implementation of technology, particularly if you work in a big firm. Implementing technology across a number of offices with a number of staff who need training and also need time to learn to use that software in order to make it become profitable it does take a lot of time, and time is money, particularly in law. So it is an expensive endeavour implementing technology, which inherently puts some people and some firms off it. There's also the kind of attitude that some firms have, which is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there are many firms which are doing really well, very profitable, doing all the right things. Why would they then pull tens of hundreds of thousands of pounds off of functioning projects to put into technology? The simple reason for that is that technology takes a long time to implement, and if you wait until your business is suffering, that's going to be far too late. And I think most firms are kind of accustomed to this now, but some firms definitely took longer than others. Another barrier is uptake. So once the firms have actually chosen to implement the technology, it's actually getting staff to use that technology, because for the reasons identified before, it is basically a faff when you get a new piece of technology. Lawyers are super busy, they want to do things as quickly as possible, and when a new piece of technology comes in, it takes you longer to do a task that you previously knew how to do very easily. So generally there is a bit of reticence amongst staff to use new technology when they can just default to the old one, which is much easier and quicker. So there needs to be better incentivization from law firms from the top end to actually use the technology. Are robots going to steal your jobs? We all said no. Technology is designed to be an enabler, something to help us do our jobs better, not do our jobs for us. But Luke Aaron did come out with a really apt quote, which was that Artificial intelligence will not replace lawyers, but lawyers who know how to use artificial intelligence will replace those who don't. On that vein, how is technology going to change your role as a junior lawyer in the future? Well, technology will certainly be more intrinsic in your job role than it was previously. You will have technology all around you, and it always has been to a certain extent in terms of Microsoft Office and Word and things like that, but we're talking much more sophisticated, advanced technology like artificial intelligence. The upside to this is that you potentially won't have to do a lot of the long administrative work that all of us had to do back in the day, like lengthy document review, bundling, all of those sorts of standard trainee tasks will now be largely done by technology, so you can focus on the more higher quality work. The downside of that is that some of that legwork is actually really useful knowledge. Reviewing all of those documents, document by document, actually really teaches you the valuable skills of document review and also makes the information go into your brain better. So having all of that legwork taken away from you may mean that you miss out on developing a lot of the really valuable skills of being a lawyer. So there are pros and cons. So what should you as future lawyers be doing now to prepare yourselves for the future legal services market and the prevalence of technology within it? My advice, go to as many events like the one last week as you possibly can. Keep us in tune with the market, changes in the market, emerging technologies and what law firms are actually adopting and new software that's coming out on the market. The more in tune you are with that, the better place you will be to adapt new strategies and potentially see openings for where technology could be used to improve the legal services market and client experience. There's no substitute, in my opinion, for going to events and actually speaking to the experts themselves, because you can ask really valuable questions that you can't get the answers to anywhere else. However, if you can't actually make it to events, then we went through a whole list of sources and legal publications which are really helpful in terms of giving you that insight. I'm going to link them all in the description below, but broadly the publications that we mentioned were Legal Cheek and The Lawyer, which are the best for technology type updates. But I also follow a whole load of people on social media, which I think is by far the best way of getting real insight into the market, because you actually get the experts comment on it rather than just the headlines. So I'm going to link them all below, and if you're not sure how to use Twitter or you don't yet have a profile, then please see my video about how to build a professional profile online, and that will help you out with that massively. I also try and post as much about technology news and marketplace news as I can through my LinkedIn and my Twitter, so please hit me up and give me a follow on those as well. Whether or not you need to learn to code is the subject of a whole separate video, so watch this space and I'm going to be talking to you all about that. Just love to keep you coming back for more. Yeah, so that's hopefully going to be going live in the next couple of weeks. In terms of what happened last week, you'll notice there was no video. There was meant to be a face hacks video about how to keep yourself looking younger for longer. And various face hacks that I use for anti-aging and how to avoid needing lip filler and a nose job. But I went to edit it and put it up, and I just thought, I just don't know if anyone's really interested in this. So if you are interested, please leave me a comment down below and I will upload that video. But if not, we'll just skirt over it and we'll come back to law in a few weeks' time. Alright guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. As always, please give me some feedback on how I can improve and what else you'd like to see on the channel, and I'll catch up with you again in a couple of weeks. Bye guys!